Let's now shift focus to a big story coming in from West Asia. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is undergoing changes, big changes. In the latest, Netanyahu sacked his Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, saying that he had no trust in him over the management of Israel's ongoing military operations. The Israeli Prime Minister appointed Foreign Minister Israel Katz to succeed Gallant as the Defense Minister. Now, Gideon Saar will take Katz's office as the new Foreign Minister of Israel.
The breach of trust between myself and the Defense Minister has become public, and this breach prevents the campaign from being managed properly. It's not just me who is saying this. Most government ministers and cabinet members, nearly everyone, share the feeling that we cannot continue in this way. In light of this, I decided today to end the term of the Defense Minister.
Israelis took to the streets of the nation's commercial hub, Tel Aviv, to protest the sacking of Yoav Gallant immediately. Now, we would also like to note that it's 11:20 p.m. in Tel Aviv right now, and we are still getting protest shows live from Tel Aviv after Israeli Prime Minister's dismissal. Yoav Gallant took to his social media account as well, saying that his life's mission is to ensure Israel's safety. Netanyahu's administration is continuing to fight its war with Hezbollah and Hamas on the ground. Israeli military said it struck a Hezbollah weapons depot in a Syrian town near the Lebanese border. Lebanon said Israel struck locations across the country on Tuesday, and Israeli forces continue to pound Lebanon's Beirut. Lebanon's health ministry says that Israeli strikes have killed at least 15 people so far.
كنت بالمطبخ شفيتها من البرندة لقيت شي أكيد عرفت أصف شي دفشني وضلت طافشة من بيتي ما عدت عرفت الدنيا سودة ما عارفة شو في لا طلعت هيك ولا هيك ولا ما عايش عشو في حدا بقول لك.
The Israeli military and Hezbollah have been exchanging fire for over a year in parallel with the Gaza war, but hostilities have escalated over the last 6 weeks. Lebanese health ministry says about 3,000 people have been killed in the country so far. Now correspondent Jody Cohen has more on this.
So Defense Minister Gallant has just given a statement in which he said that the security of Israel has been and always will be his life's mission. Now, his term ends officially in 2 days. He said he's proud of his achievements during his time as Defense Minister and said that he really is sticking to some principles, and he outlined these as being that everybody eligible should serve in the Israeli army, that all of the hostages must be returned home fast while they are still alive. And he believes that a national commission of inquiry into the failures on the 7th of October, that's the date when Hamas launched its attack on Israel, he says that that should be set up. And he ended his statement by saluting the fallen, the injured, the hostages and their families. Now, protesters in the meantime are taking to the streets. They're calling this Gallant Night 2, referring to the major protests that took place the last time that Prime Minister Netanyahu fired Defense Minister Gallant. At that time, hundreds of thousands took to the streets and Netanyahu reversed his decision. So far, we're seeing major protests in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Haifa and other places. And it's being reported that tens of thousands of people are taking to the streets. Now, the firing of Defence Minister Gallant during a time of war is being seen as a controversial decision. The head of the opposition, Yair Lapid, has called it an act of madness. But some in the government have said that Gallant was seen almost as an opposition figure within the government. And Prime Minister Netanyahu said that he fired Gallant because they had disagreements on the war management and that he was seen as an obstacle to Israel's victory in Gaza. That didn't come from Netanyahu, that's come from some within the coalition. Netanyahu suggested that Gallant's actions at times contradicted security cabinet decisions, and that's why he had to make the decision to let him go.
Now, correspondent Anas Malik is in Beirut tracking the latest developments on the ground and telling us about the impact of US's elections in West Asia.
Well, over 3,200 people have lost their lives since the Israeli aggression began last year in Lebanon, let alone that is what the Lebanese health ministry has said. In fact, since the launch of the ground offensive last month, 37 towns have been destroyed. 40,000 homes have been wiped out, and about 1.8 million people have been displaced. That's what the Lebanese officials say. So there's a lot of skepticism around with whosoever wins in White House because the people, they're really unbothered with the foreign policy approach of both the candidates when it comes to the Middle East. Remember, while Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been emphasizing on the point of a ceasefire in Lebanon, at the same time they have been reiterating their support for Israel's right to defend itself, and that is the reason, that is something that has not been received very well when it comes to going forward as to with regards to the race to White House going forward as to would it have any significant bearing.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.